afternoon. We are continuing on with Unit 3. We are at CO14. I can evaluate algebraic expressions. So our progression from expressions to equations continues. Remember with that last objective, we talked about how expressions do not have the equal sign. Okay, we're working our way up to that. First, we wrote expressions, then we simplified them, and now we're going to evaluate them with given values for the variables. So that last objective, we were writing those expressions with a number and something. Hello, escape. Okay, thank you. Bye. So you can watch the video at home tonight. Try to. Do you think you'll have time to work on it, or are you leaving for the week?
No, I'll be back.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna actually have a number that we fill in for the different variables. Now, when we were correcting our last one, I was saying n for a number, and David said, well, what if I put x? I said, it's totally fine, right? When you're filling in the variable in something, it doesn't matter. But now, we're gonna look to see what each variable stands for. It truly matters, okay? So, we will also see how to represent these expressions graphically. We need to remember that order of operations, if there's parentheses, columns, so we do things going the correct way. Also be careful when the value of a variable is negative, particularly when squaring. The sign is important and must be included. If you're squaring, negative times a negative, it equals a positive. Pay attention to those signs. Adding and subtracting with the negatives, multiplying, dividing with negatives, it makes it trickier. So we are going to rewrite each expression when a equals 9, n equals 20, and x equals -5. Then we're going to evaluate it. So are we doing mental math with this? Now, it says rewrite the expressions, putting the values in for the letters. So our first step, 12a minus 9. Well, 12 is a number. I need to put a number in for a. So what am I going to put? Christina? 9. Minus n. What is n? 20. So I'm going to write my expression out. That is the first step. I do not want to just see an answer. It says rewrite each expression, so you must rewrite it. Then we're going to do our order of operations. Eleanor.
Could you do a multiplication sign instead of the parentheses?
You could. I'm doing proper math, so I'm doing the parentheses so we can see how we're going to see it like on the NWA test. If you did 12 times 9, let's see if that's going to turn up, minus 20, it means the same thing. As we get into proper math, we're going to see this format, so that's what I'm going to show you. I will not mark it wrong if you do the multiplication sign instead of parentheses. So now we do our math. First we multiply before we subtract. So 9 times 12 is 18, 108 minus 20, 108 minus 20 is 88. Okay. I want to see your steps. So make sure you're taking your time and you rewrite the expression with the numbers that go in for our letters. Natalie, you look confused. Which one's throwing you off?
No, I was looking at the x equals -5 at the top. It's not making me confused. I'm just.
So when I rewrite this, I would say a is 9 plus, I would put it in parentheses so I know that it's a -5 versus a -5, right? So if I'm at 9, we need to remember that table from the last test. What does it mean when we add a negative? So who can tell me, what does it mean when we add a negative? Eleanor?
The negative turns into a positive. Oh,
That's
no.
if we're subtracting a negative.
Then you go up. So
When we add a negative, we're actually subtracting. So 9 plus negative 5 puts me at a 4 plus 2. So if you need to look back at that table in your binder that tells you what to do with adding and subtracting with those negative numbers, you can look back at it. So my answer here would be 6. So look back if you need to. Now we're going to get to the tricky part. Okay? We can fill in numbers for our letters and do the order of operations that we've already done. Right? Let's add on to this with the graphing. Write each situation as an expression, evaluate it for the given values, and graph it. So you want to save up to buy an iPhone and decide to put $3 each day into savings. How much will you have saved on day 5, on day 8? How about day 12? So the first thing we have to do is figure out what our expression is using a variable. So I need to look to see what is staying the same and what is changing. So that variable is going to be what is changing. So when I look at this, what's staying the same? $3. Right? Every time it has something to do with 3. What's changing? Eleanor?
the day.
The days. 5 days, 8 days, 12 days. That day is changing. That's my variable. The variable is the thing that is changing. So what am I going to do with the 3 and the day? What operation do you think I'm going to need to do, Luke?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. If it's $3 every day and it's 8 days, well, I need to multiply 3 times 8. So my expression is 3 times that D for day. So does it have to be D for day? No, you could put in X. I like to just, it works for me to match up my variable with what is changing. The day is what's changing, so I use that first letter. That's just how it makes sense to me. If you use an X, that's fine. It would not be marked wrong for that. Okay? So that's our first step, writing our expression. Now we need to evaluate it for the given values. Well, I've got 5, 8, and 12 days. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 12 is 36. So I know I'm having $15 put away on that 5th day. On the 24th, or sorry, on the 8th day, I will have $24. And on the 12th day, I will have $36. You with me so far? Okay, so we evaluated. Now we need to graph it. So we need to think what's going to go on the bottom. That bottom is the variable that's changing. Okay, so on that x-axis, we're going to label it day. So we had day 1. So at that origin where the x and the y meet, that's the 0. So day 1, day 2, day 3, 4. How far up do you think I need to go in my graph, Christina?
12.
12, because in our data we had 12 days. What do you think is going to go up the y-axis? Graham? Dollars. That's our savings. How much are we saving every day? So you could call it dollars, You could call it savings. And then, I know I need to go up to 36. Doesn't look like 36 going up. Uh-oh, I'm gonna run out of room. What should I do, Natalie?
Skip count.
Skip count. I know that I'm multiplying by 3 every time. So what would be a good number to skip count by? 5 threes. So I've got my 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 37, nope, 36, 39, right? We're skip counting up by 3s. I don't need to go higher than that because I know 3 times 12 is 36. Now I need to graph these 3. So my x, remember this is how many days it is. This is my money. So when my x is 5, my days are 5, I saved $15. So I'm going to put a dot right there. On day 8, I saved 24. So I'm going to go up to 24. And on day 12, I saved 36. So that is what my graph is going to look like. On our second page, we have 2 word problems that you are going to try to figure out yourself. Now, keep in mind, what are we doing tomorrow as our last day of our week? David?
Con and retake.
It's retake day, it's Khan Academy day, it's finish up work day. So if we don't have retakes that we need to do, I'm still correcting those retakes from this last Friday because I had the wedding weekend. I have conferences tonight. I'm going to try really hard to have those in Blackbaud before I leave tonight. If you have time tomorrow, you can work on these 2 in class tomorrow and ask questions. Okay? If you have a lot of retakes to do tomorrow, work on it tonight so you'll know if you have questions or not. Okay? So if you are watching this at home, we are correcting this on Monday. So nobody wants to save it for MEA because then I'm going to have everybody telling me they forgot to do it. Right? Get it done either tonight or tomorrow in class. We don't want homework over the long weekend. If you are watching this at home, come see me if you have questions. I hope you are well and hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.